If you're trying to figure out how to rebuild your life after loss, but you don't feel ready, you don't feel clear, and you don't feel strong, this is where you start. Because I've been there before, and I didn't start from strength, I started from survival. So first off, who am I? I am Carmen Andrea, certified grief counselor, and over 7 years ago, grief and loss hit my life in a way that was unimaginable, and I had to pull myself up by the bootstraps, and now I help other women who have experienced loss and major life transitions to heal, to rebuild, and to live well after loss. So a little bit about my story. I mentioned that over 7 years ago, loss hit my life in such a way that it turned my world upside down. My late husband, who was also the father of my two children, he died suddenly and unexpectedly. As a result of his death, I lost everything except for my mind and my children. We lost the place that we called home. We lost the vehicle that he left behind. We had to live with family temporarily. From there, we had to live in a hotel for a few weeks until family could come and help us move from one state to the next. And I ended up moving to the very last place that I wanted to ever move back to, my hometown. As a result, I was in a deep emotional fog. I was in a grief fog, or a widow fog, if you will, and I was literally in survival mode. But I still pushed my way through the fog, through the survival mode, not really knowing what it was that I was doing. And I realized that rebuilding doesn't start when you feel ready. Rebuilding starts when you make a decision that you're going to pick up the pieces of your life, no matter how messy they look, and you're going to put one foot in front of the other, and you're going to heal, and you're going to rebuild your life brick by brick. So in this video, I want to give you 3 starting points for how to rebuild your life even when you don't feel ready, especially if you don't feel ready. So the first one is to stabilize. Don't overhaul your life. Stabilize, but don't overhaul your life. Okay? The first step is not rebuilding everything. It's stabilizing yourself. It's getting yourself back to center. It's getting yourself back to a place of calm and a place of consciousness to where you can say, okay, everything is not okay. I am not okay. My life may be a mess right now, but I'm going to be okay. You have to tell yourself this. Now, some ways that you can stabilize yourself before you begin rebuilding your life is, number 1, you can start a basic routine. I know from personal experience, when you go through deep grief, your routine is thrown off. You may not even be doing basic everyday things like making your bed, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, or even eating. So you need to get back into some sort of a basic routine, even if it's just making up your bed every day. Something as simple and as small as that. Also, trying to eat something. I noticed that with grief, people either overeat or they don't eat. I was one to where I didn't eat anything. I remember my sister cousin, she came up to support me, her and her family, her husband and her children, and she noticed that I wasn't eating. Like, I would eat like junk food or stuff like that. And I remember one day, this was days after my husband had died, and she was like, you need to sit down and eat something. And she was very serious about it. And for the first time in days after my husband had died, I actually ate something. I didn't eat the whole meal, but I ate something other than junk food. So you could focus on eating something. If you're not eating anything, focus on eating a piece of fruit or something like that. Sleeping. I know in the very beginning, sleep can be hit or miss, okay? You're going through that whole void, that disbelief, feeling like, is this a dream? Is this real? So sleep can be kind of hit or miss. In the beginning, I remember once we got relocated to the new state, I remember for a period of a few months, I would literally stay up until like 3 or 4 in the morning. And then the reality of my life began to hit me, and I would cry myself to sleep. And I would wake up in the morning, I would gather up my children, we would get out of the house that we were living in at the time, and we would hang out just to get out of the house. We would come back, I would watch TV until late at night, and then I would repeat the cycle, staring at the walls until the reality hit me and I began to cry and weep until I cried myself to sleep. That was my way of grieving. That was my way of allowing myself to feel every emotion, but also making a decision to get back up every morning and still push myself to even get out of the house, which was a challenge, okay? Also, focus on breathing space. You can literally forget to breathe when you are in the throes of grief. So maybe even taking a few moments to just take some inhales and exhales to ground yourself. And you can do that for a few seconds. It seems simple, but the simple things, the simple intentional things are the things that are going to get you through your grief to a place of healing. And also figuring out a way to emotionally ground yourself. I remember very early on, because my late husband, he died around Christmas time, like a few days before Christmas. And as a Christmas gift, one of my family members got me a new journal. And I actually started writing in the journal. I just wrote every emotion, whether it was sadness, whether it was anger, whether it was bitterness, disbelief. I found myself writing out all my thoughts and feelings in this journal. So get to a place of emotional grounding where you are embracing every emotion, because I don't want you to feel like me giving you the tips on how to rebuild even when you're not ready. I'm not telling you to bypass your grief. I'm not telling you to act as if it's not happening. I'm telling you to grieve, embrace every emotion, but continue to put one foot in front of the other, because you'll probably never be fully ready to rebuild your life again after the loss or the life transition that you've experienced. So point number 2, or step number 2, is to focus on one small forward move, because you don't have to rebuild your whole life. You're going to take one step at a time. Even years down the line, you'll find yourself still rebuilding parts of your life, still rebuilding parts of yourself, and evolving and changing and realizing that you'll never be the same person that you were prior to your loss or your life transition, and you're constantly evolving into the new person that you are becoming. So what I did when I began to rebuild my life and just take steps forward, again, I took these steps when I wasn't ready. I didn't even know what I was doing, okay? Like, it couldn't have been like 2 or 3 months after my late husband died, and we were living with family. Like, my girls and I, we were living in the guest bedroom of one of my family members' homes, and we were all sleeping in the same bed, but I knew that I was going to be okay, and I told myself that I was going to be okay. And I actually started hitting record on YouTube on one of my other channels, and I started venting and ranting and just sharing my emotions and feelings. And I quickly realized that what I was doing was bigger than me, and it grew into something that I could have never imagined. But it started with one decision to hit record. I also set up an LLC at that time. I had no idea what type of business I was going to start. I had no idea that I was going to end up counseling and coaching and mentoring and ministering to other women. But I set up my LLC, and it kind of took on a life of its own. So I began to take action without even having clarity. I didn't even know what I was doing. I just knew that I had to do something. I knew that I couldn't just sit and rot away and do nothing. So I am encouraging you to take action without clarity. Make one small step forward. It could be something as simple as recording a video and putting it up on YouTube, and you could unlist the video to where no one sees it, but you could be ranting, getting out all of your emotions and your feelings based upon what it is that you're going through. Or you could pick up a project that you may have put down before everything happened. Just put one foot in front of the other and make a step in a forward direction so that you can help to rebuild yourself and breathe again and begin to heal. So point number 3, or step number 3, is to let it be messy and unclear. Whatever step you decide to take, let it be messy. Let it be unclear. You're not supposed to have a clear vision right now. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you're probably experiencing grief fog or some level of just disorientation and not really knowing what's going on. So I want to remove the pressure so that you don't feel like you have to have a clear vision, so that you don't feel like you have to have the whole plan set out. Just make a move and do something. And I also want to normalize confusion. It is normal to be confused after you experience a deep loss, the death of a loved one, the death of someone who was a part of your everyday life, your everyday rhythm. It is normal to feel confused. It is normal to be a bit disoriented. It is normal to feel like you're living in a parallel universe, because I don't know if many people know this, but grief actually alters your brain. So if you're able to get up and function just a little bit, then you're doing good. But know that if you are experiencing confusion and not really knowing what to do, it's normal. Okay, so you don't have to have the clear vision right now. Just make a move, take a step to move forward, because remember, you're working on rebuilding yourself, okay, before you rebuild your entire life. So just know that rebuilding your life after loss is not about becoming who you were again, because as I said, chances are you were changed forever and you'll never be that same woman again, okay? Rebuilding your life after loss is about slowly becoming someone new at your own pace. No, it's not going to feel good. No, it's not fair that you're even in a position to where you have to become someone new or evolve into who it is that God saw you from the beginning of time as, but it's necessary. It's a necessary step. And you don't have to rush yourself, though. Go at your own pace. Give yourself grace, but know that you're not trying to rekindle or lay a hold of an old identity. You're stepping into something new, and it's going to be unfamiliar, and some days it's going to be hard, and sometimes it's going to hurt like hell, and it's going to suck. But you have to put one foot in front of the other and know that you're going to be okay, and know that you can do this one step at a time, giving yourself lots of grace. So as I bring this video to a close, I just want to give you a few steps for how you can integrate the tips and the steps that I've given to you moving forward. So the first one is to create a soft daily rhythm. I don't know where you're at in your journey of grief, healing, and loss, but something as simple as making your bed every day, something as simple as writing in your journal every day, even if you write one sentence. And if you're not a writer, I met a woman a few weeks ago and she was saying how, she's not big on writing. I was purchasing a new journal for my birthday, and she was saying she's not big on writing, but she found something else to do in lieu of journaling that was equally as impactful. So it could be something as simple as hitting record on your phone and releasing your real, raw emotions, and you don't have to share them with anyone. Another tip is to take one small action this week. You may be thinking about writing a book to tell your story. You can look into self-publishing. What's the first step to self-publishing? Allow yourself to not have all the answers. Allow yourself to maybe not have any of the answers. Give yourself lots of grace and allow yourself to simply be, while giving yourself permission to grow and to move forward even in the midst of your grief. If you're in this season that I just spoke about and you need support as you rebuild, I do work with women one-on-one. You can start with a clarity and support session, or you can explore working with me even deeper. I'm going to link the website below in the description of my services so that you can determine what's the best starting point for you in this season. And just know that you don't have to feel ready to rebuild. You just have to begin. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you feel comfortable, I would love for you to let me know you're watching it on the replay, and also let me know what type of loss or life transition have you experienced. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll speak with you on the next video, and I look forward to working with you in whatever season you're in.